you're just going to start off by simply sketching out the basic shapes using any sort of pencil. So I've completely forgot to show you the products, but what I'm using in this is the NYX SFX Creme colours. So as you can see, I'm using the red and I'm just going to fill in what's going to be the inside of the neck. And for the rest of my body, I'm using the red and the yellow SFX Creme colours, and I'm just applying this with my fingers, and I'm kind of blending it on as I'm applying it. If you look at the surface of a pumpkin, you can notice that it's got grooves and smooth lines sort of going in a downwards vertical motion, so I'm using my fingers and I'm trying to create that texture by sliding from the top of my neck to the bottom of my chest. Using your fingers with SFX Creme colours is also fantastic for blending and giving a smooth finish. And for the little details on the neck, you want to make sure that you've got strings attached from your neck to your body so it kind of looks like it's in the middle of tearing apart. Taking a fine detailed brush, I'm going to go ahead and apply some white to the edges of the neck, just to really bring it out and make it pop and just give it a bit of highlight and realism. Once you're happy with the details, you can then go ahead and paint the rest of your neck black to make it disappear. Then going in with some black, you want to add that in the middle of the neck to create this sort of hole in the middle, and then you want to go with some white to add some nice juicy shine to the red. Moving on to the face, even though the body isn't exactly done, I just like to be awkward and bounce back and forth, but I'm going to start by gluing down my eyebrows. I'm starting with the normal side of the face and I'm going to go ahead and fill in the eyebrow. Taking some foundation, I'm using the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop foundation. You're just going to apply this as if you were going out on a normal day. Then taking some light concealer, of course, just like your everyday makeup, you want to highlight your brow bone and also define your brows. And now for the fun part. So you want to take some toilet roll or just regular tissue and you want to tear these into pieces. I'm using the Mehron liquid latex and you want to go ahead and use a sponge, and I'm starting with the centre of my forehead and I'm just going to apply the latex and then I'm going to add some cotton and then add some latex on top of that. Once you've soaked the tissue or the cotton, you can then play with it and sort of pull it around and make it look like hanging skin basically. This is really fiddly and tricky and you just want to basically keep playing around and having fun with it until you get the desired look. Just make sure that this blends into your skin nicely so it looks as realistic as possible. Moving on to the normal side of the face, you then want to add some eyeshadow. It's completely up to you what colour you like. You can go for some nudes. I decided to go for a nice vivid blue because this went really nicely with the orange pumpkin. And yeah, I thought it'd be really nice to add some glam right next to the gruesome blood and the torn skin. I'm using the NYX Epic ink liner and I'm just going to go ahead and create a wing. Just like I did at the beginning where I used a pencil to sketch out the features first, you can go ahead and do that again if you want to. I didn't do this, I just kind of skipped that step and I went straight in with colour. You want to go ahead and start creating the features, so I'm starting off with the evil eyebrow and then I'm going to start slowly mapping out the teeth, the lips, the rips and the eye. And I know it looks like I'm doing some random lines and things for now, but you'll see later on how it'll all come together. Next, as you can see, I'm adding some white into the gaps that I left in my face and I'm going to start creating some teeth. And then taking some red, you want to fill in the rest of the face to create the gums. For the other half, you want to simply take a detailed brush and start creating a demonic mouth, and then you also want to start creating the shape of the nose. Once you're happy with the basic first layer, you want to go ahead and take some black eyeshadow and some small brushes and you want to start creating some shadow. This is going to make the gums and the teeth appear as if they're behind the skin, which is what you're going for, so just keep in mind that you want to add a lot of shadow to the insides of the mouth. You also want to outline all of the shapes to really define them and separate them as well. Next, you really want to start creating the texture of the pumpkin skin. I'm using some red eyeshadow, some blacks and some oranges, and you want to go ahead and really slowly build your way up. Dipping my brush into the product, you want to tap off the excess amount and just slowly build your way up. I'm starting off with red, and once you're happy with the lines and the texture that you have, you then want to go ahead and use black as well, and this is going to really create some depth. A little helpful tip is just to do this really gently, because you can so easily just apply too much black and it looks way too heavy and two-dimensional. So just take your time and build it up nicely. Now that the latex is dry, I'm just going to take the same foundation that I used earlier and just completely cover that. Moving back onto the body, I'm just going back in with the red SFX cream colour, and I'm just going to create the exact same texture I did on my head. So simple vertical lines, and then later on, once again exactly the same as the head, I'll be adding in some black eyeshadow and some highlights as well. I'm adding white to the elastic parts of my neck to really bring them out and add some highlight. Once you're happy with the basic grooves on your body, you can go ahead with some white and a fine brush and just create some small thin lines. This is going to give it a bit of a realistic look and just make it a little bit more interesting. Exactly the same as you did with the mouth, you then want to do with the neck. Add some black eyeshadow and create a three-dimensional look. You want to bring out some areas and bring back some areas. Whilst you're doing this, you can also define some shapes and areas, add some cracks and lines, and this is going to really bring the look together. For this, I'm using the Mehron Bruise wheel, and I'm really bad at showing products, I'm terribly sorry, but what you want to do is take a shadow brush and just gently apply this to the skin. You want this to look nice and sore and red and bruised and nice and disgusting. You want to focus this mainly on the edges, because that's where the damaged areas would be. Slip in your contact lens, and then you want to go ahead and fill in the rest of your eye in black. Of course, when you're doing some glam, you have to have some eyelashes, so go ahead and apply that. Lastly, you want to take a wire sponge and apply some beautiful blood, and I'm using the Squirt blood for this, the Mehron Squirt blood, and just go ahead and gently apply this to the edges so it looks nice and splattered. Thank you so much for watching my video. I really hope you enjoyed it and you found it helpful. If you ever recreate my looks on Instagram, then don't forget to tag me at GothSpectrum, and please feel free to like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Thank you again, and I'll see you later.